So we're going to kind of do some testing for core function right now. In the previous video, you saw a kind of an introduction to some muscle testing. We're going to do some direct muscle testing for some muscles that are kind of reflective of whether or not the muscles are behaving appropriately in the pelvic floor. So I'm going to have Sarah turn over. Okay, so the first one I'm going to have her do, this will be on her left side. These muscles, when she was face up, her hip flexors and her actually hip extensors, the hamstrings, she was weak on this side. So I'm going to have her go into hip extension and adduction. She's going to pull the leg over. I'm going to push the leg out. Ready? Hold. And she's good on that one. At this point, I'm going to have her, let's go ahead and test the other one. So go ahead and push up. And she abducts. Now I'm going to pull out. Ready? Hold. And that one's weak. So we have one muscle that's strong, one muscle that's weak. As I sneak over here, and I'm giving her something to look at. It's kind of like me pushing the muscles together. I don't want to do it on the pelvic floor, it's a little uncomfortable, so I'm going to have her look at a particular card that should inhibit the muscle. So she's going to push up and adduct. Now I'm going to push across, and she should get weak, but she doesn't. Okay, so what's happening on this side is she's hyperfacilitated. So she's got one muscle that won't let go when it should, and she's got one over here that's kind of strong in the clear. So at that point, I could do this. I could do a little rub on her thigh. I'm just guessing here. Push up here and look at the card and hold, and she inhibits. Okay. So I kind of gave a rub on the opposite side, and that sent a message to the hip extensors here that are involved, the particular ones we're testing, that are involved in the pelvic floor. And then when she looks at the symbol that should make her go weak, she did. So again, I'm just giving her receptor input, and then I'm changing the muscle response. There's a way in videos coming up that I show you how to literally kind of reconnect the proper firing patterns, if you will, which will make the pelvic floor fire a little bit better. So I'm going to have her turn over. We haven't done any corrections at this point. So now I'm going to have her go, I'm going to have you go down a little bit lower. Good. So I'm going to test her, just her rectus abdominis, go down a little bit lower. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to push, ready, hold, and she's rock solid. Okay, now I'm going to have her look at the card. We're going to redo the test. Ready, hold, and she weakens. Proper response, right? Okay, well, now we're going to add a stimulus. In other words, go ahead and come up. So I know from kind of assessing her before, go ahead and go back down a little bit more. If I give her some taps on the abdomen and then she crosses again, ready, and hold, and she goes weak. Tapping is a particular kind of stimulus, a receptor pathway. So it may look like the muscles are working properly. They're facilitated and strong when they should be, they inhibit. But during movement, you get all sorts of input from different places. So she should go weak just from me tapping on it. So even though it looks good in the clear without anything going on, once I add a stimulus, then there becomes a problem. So if I go to the muscle test and I go hold, she's fine. If I give her taps, you should know what's coming. If I give her taps here, what should happen? Hold, it gets weak because it mimics the same thing that her abdominal, her rectus abdominis does. So she's strong until I give her stimulus, hold, weak. So could that be that she's doing a lift? Go ahead and stand up, Sarah. Okay, so I'm going to come around here. She's strong, hold. Okay, she's going to do a lift. Let's say a lift with extension. So let's bring your arms up overhead. Okay, and then bring the arm back down. Because I just engaged that muscle. Ready, hold. Weak. When she engages that muscle into and stretches it, which is kind of what tapping does, it's kind of like stretching the tissue, she goes weak. So this muscle's fine until she stimulates it, and that pathway gets fired up a little bit, and then she gets shoulder weakness. She's strong now. Okay, do a squat and just come up to here. So your abdomen's not really stretching. Good. Arm is fine. Now go into something overhead. We have to stretch, where she stretches the abdomen. Ready? And hold. And it goes weak. So during movements themselves, if we stimulate the certain receptors that are problematic in a muscle, then it shows a global inhibition pattern. So somebody with a shoulder pain or shoulder problem or lack of range of motion, it could be that there's a receptor somewhere in the chain that gets a stimulus and then things start to shut down and not move.